So, I pretty much had well, interesting, I guess you can say, interesting few days of commuting to work. More annoying than interesting, I'd say. So, let me tell you what happened starting on Sunday. So, commuting to work that day, it was good. It was just the trip back. So, commuting to work, it was it was kind of a pain and a half because I had to the train service wasn't fully operational, so I had to get off at 29th Street, take a bus, take that bus to oh yeah, to Power Inn, get back on the train, go all the way to Matherfield Mills, take my bus, go to Core Power, handle my business. And it was it was definitely a challenge, but that wasn't the most challenging part. The challenging part, as I mentioned, was on the way back. So, okay, I get on the train, or actually, no, wait, scratch that. So I get on the bus first, then I get off to go on the train. And once I'm seated, I'm relaxed for barely a couple minutes when this 6 foot giant, bozo looking dude sits directly across from me, right? Drops his duffel bag, and we're pretty much sitting like, oh, it's pretty much sitting like this. Sorry, I didn't mean to get in your guys' face. But, I could tell, because my vibe sensors were disrupted. Like, I knew that something was wrong with this guy. He was all like this with his knees stretched out a bit, bumping into my knees. Uh, didn't even bother to say pardon me, excuse me, none of that. Um, he was smacking his lips. He was sleeping, and that was. I thought it was gonna be over after that point, but he got he got on the same route as I did, and it was a crowded bus full of people. Well, before I get to the whole bus thing, back to the train. So, he was also obnoxious on the train because as soon as the conductor, I would assume, I believe it was her, one of the transit officials, she was like, "Okay, everybody, this is the last stop," and he was like, "Oh, this is the last stop." He was shouting something like that. But anyway, we get off at Power Inn. We all get on the bus. I'm praying to God he doesn't get on, but if wishes were presents, right? And he gets a lot worse from there. I'm just glad I don't have to sit next to him on the bus. But he is obnoxiously just disrupting. I've seen a few people turn their heads. They're like, "What is that guy doing? What is wrong with him?" And to that I say there was a bunch wrong with him. He was singing obnoxiously. He was talking to himself. He was disrupting everybody on the bus. And I'd say that was about 45 straight minutes of that. I was just, I counted my blessings that I didn't have to share the same. Well, actually, no, now I remember. I had to share one more ride with them because apparently he was continuing to go my way. So the bus gets off at Power Inn, or excuse me, not Power Inn, 29th Street. The bus lets us off at 29th Street, and uh, like most of us, I'd say, most of us gets on the bus, or not the bus. I'm a little out of sorts. I just got done working. And, okay, so most of us get on the train. That's what I meant to say. We get on the train at 29th Street. And I figure he's all the way in the back. He's not going to bug us. Or bug me, I mean. And just when I couldn't think things couldn't get any worse, these junior bozos, and I could tell these kids were up to no good because one of the girls that were with them, she looked 14, wearing nothing but a halter top, only covering her top half basically, and wearing a jacket, a hoodie, whatever it was. That's all she was wearing. She looked around 13 or 14 years old. And I'm just like, good grief, what is wrong with these girls not dressing? Because that actually happened. I'm just gonna drift away for a moment here. That actually happened to me at the theater a few days prior. These 11, 12-year-old girls, they told me they were, because they wanted to get the kids discount tickets. And I was like, you know what, they're around that age, that's fine. One of them says they're like, uh, it was either 12 or 13, I can't remember. But anyway, she was wearing close to the same thing, but her navel was pierced. But I'm gonna get on that whole young girls dressing like they're grown. I'm gonna get to that a different time. I want to continue talking about what happened. So I'm on the train, and these obnoxious kids sit right next to me. And, ugh. I'm worn out, so bear with me, guys. It was a trying few days for me. So I'm getting closer to my stop, and just as I'm ready to get off, the giant bozo comes and sits right next to me and just talks to these kids. He's like, "Oh no, you should play this song. That song slapped. This and that and the other." And you know me, I'm not one to be physical in the sense of having to tap somebody, but I had to because I'm soft spoken and I didn't want to make any waves. So I pretty much like, "Excuse me, can I get up, please?" And he got up for me. And I don't know whose bottles I was I almost stepped on. It was either his or these kids. I don't know, but there were these alcoholic drinks just flat out on the floor just as I'm gonna get off the train. But anyway, that was day one of riding the Bozo Express. I got off, I went home, uh, shot the breeze, relaxed, got to see my lady. Which brings me to yesterday. So I'm on my way to the theater. I'm taking the train. Just as we're about to reach 65th Street, these kids, these junior bozos, want to jump this other kid. And I'm just like, it's the parents. That's basically what I'm gonna say. It's the parents' fault that they're acting like this. And because honestly, what do kids got to be angry about? Like, unless you're getting beat or you're not in a stable home environment. Like, why are you jumping this kid and you're bumping into innocent bystanders? I'm just glad it wasn't me, because I would have flipped my lid if somebody was. That actually, that's actually going to bring me to today about the whole seating arrangement, but I'll get to that in a moment. So, anyway, it was like 3 or 4 kids jumping this one kid like a pack of wolves to a rare steak. And I'm in shock. The security, I turned my head, I was like, jeez, what the. I was in such shock. I didn't know what to say or do in that moment. But the lady was like, because I usually don't see stuff like that with the kids anyway. So, the security lady, she was right next to me. I hesitated on getting her attention, but blessed be, this lady comes up from behind her. She gets her attention. The security lady, she pretty much calls it in. I didn't necessarily see her break the fight up. I know she called it in, but I didn't see her trying to break it up or anything. I don't know what happened. The train had stopped, and these kids cleared out like roaches when the lights come on. It was pretty bad. And a majority of these jumper kids, carnage kids, whatever you want to call them, they were black. Most of them were black kids jumping this other kid. It's sad to see how our black youth of America is acting like this. And honestly, I think the parents have gone soft on their kids, because otherwise they wouldn't be behaving like this. And honestly, if I hear that whole boys will be boys, whatever, something along those lines, I'm going to delete you, and I'm going to block you. So don't even try that. And I'm also going to talk about that on a different video. That whole boys will be boys, that's condoning rape. But like I said, I'm going to get more into that at a different time. So that was yesterday. The rest of my day was pretty smooth. I didn't have to deal with anything else after that. Today, however, one sec. My throat's getting exhausted just from explaining all this. So today, I'm on the train. I'm heading to my second job at Core Power. And right around, my nose is itching, I'm sorry. Right around, I believe it was, I think it was College Greens, if I remember, somewhere around there. But before College Greens, this black guy in a leather jacket, he comes on the train, and of course he has a bike with him, but he's not sitting with it. You know, he's pacing back and forth, he's sitting every which way. I'm just like, this guy needs to sit down, because he's making me extremely uncomfortable doing all this. He's wearing his hood indoors, he got his hand in his pockets. I could already tell this guy was up to no good. And the security lady, the RT official, she was like, make sure you, if I haven't checked you, make sure you have your tickets out so I can check them on you. This guy, obviously, he didn't have any ticket. I say obviously because a guy like that, there's no surprise. How hard is it to get $2.50 worth to buy a ticket just to go be on your way? I've seen panhandlers have tickets on them. and they have nowhere else to go. Now, I've seen homeless people were able to buy tickets. You can't. You as a bozo, you can't spend a lousy $2.50 for a ticket to be on board. And anyway, so he has no ticket. The security lady was being patient with him. She's like, okay, you're gonna have to get off at the next stop. And of course, bozos like to argue, to try to bargain. They're just like, nah, look, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that, I need to get to this place, to that place. You're not gonna get very far if you don't have a train ticket. That's plain and simple. How hard is it just to spend $2.50 on a one-way? It's like, you can't be that pitiful, but apparently he was. And you can't even be honest with these folks, with these fools. I was trying to say folks. I slip of the tongue. I got tongue tied. Anyway, the reason I say you can't be honest with these folks is because there was this homeless lady. She was, well, yeah. At first, she was sitting diagonally from me, like I keep doing it, diagonally from this way, and she simply says, you can't ride for you can't ride for free, young man. And he just goes off on her, calling her the B word, doing this, that, and the third. And there was a guy behind me who was like, oh no, I'm not taking this. You need to get off the train right now. And of course, he got in the guy's face, and the guy wasn't going to back down. And that turned. My throat's really dry today, I'm sorry. Excuse me. But as I was saying, he got in the guy's face, and that forced me to have to move my seat. I was sitting next to the homeless lady, and she was actually on the same bus that I had to take to work. She was very sweet, very kind. She actually paid me a compliment. First she asked me, "Excuse me, young man." So I turned my head. I respond to her. She's asking me, "Are you on your way to work?" And I basically like, yeah. And then she compliments me. She's like, "Well, you look very nice." And at that moment, of course, I say thank you to her, because that was very sweet of her. And I get off the bus, and I'm just like, that lady was very kind. Like, that bum had no respect for his elders. And anybody else, you can't be honest with these fools. Of course they know that they can't be on a train without a ticket. Of course they know they can't ride for free, but they don't care. They're not trying to hear it. They're not trying to pay for a ticket. The thing about bozos, they think that they're privileged, or they think they're entitled, really. They think that just because they're young, they're entitled to do whatever they want. I'm young, but I still have to make a living. I still have to work hard myself. So I'm praying that when I go to the theater tomorrow, I don't have to deal with a single bozo on my way to work. I'm just like, can I just have one day where I don't have to switch my seats because these bums want to make me uncomfortable? Or excuse me, not uncomfortable, but more inconvenienced. It's like, I already have to put in the hours. I don't need your BS to mess up my day. You understand? So that was pretty much my that was pretty much my trip on the Bozo Express. Um, that's pretty much all I got. I'm really hoping I don't have to deal with any of that on the way back home. Um, I'm at my spot at McDonald's here, obviously, so just hoping I don't have to deal with that on the way home, as well as tomorrow when I go to the theater, put in my hours, do what I gotta do. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll figure out what I want to be able to talk to you guys about next time I see you. I love you all. Be safe, be well, be loved. We'll talk soon. Bye.